do so. You don't always need to keep it focused on me. Like, I know you guys, you're gonna have all the audio from other things anyway. So welcome to a parking lot. Congratulations, everybody, you made it. So, no, it's a weird space, but it used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. This is kind of a little bit of a windy one, so I'm gonna take another quick drink. But what you guys do need to know is, with all of you communication device people, I am not gonna be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there at the Big Red Barn. You will be getting the answers from all of your communication devices. So, beautiful. Love it. Hang on to that number. I'm going to have to write it down. Keep it going up. Easy, I got you. Anyway, welcome to where the Charles and Eliza Pinckney mansion used to be. So it used to sit in the front of this space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing where the servant and slave quotas were for the home. So who the heck were these people? Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues. That way I know which Charles is coming through in the event somebody hears or sees the name Charles. So the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than everybody here, so we're gonna move on. If I don't bring that up, they normally do it for me in a very angry, you didn't give me the credit I deserve type of manner on your spirit boxes, and I try not to piss off his family. You're gonna find out why here very shortly. Megan's like, oh crap, where did you bring me? I just seen that sigh of like, oh my God. But anyway, the Pinckneys. We're gonna talk about Eliza instead. She has a much better story anyway. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say that because if you're gonna ask her how old she was, don't expect numbers from the colonial days of when young ladies got married like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards. Because her husband was over double her age, even in the colonial times that they came from. So it's a creepy age gap back then, and it's a creepy age gap now. I'm just gonna point that out. But anyway, she married him because her father was over in England. He thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all his children home so he can see them one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card. We're not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love, and don't poke the bear. There's no love affair or any foul play. This is a true love story, everybody. Don't mess it all up. A lot of people like to go, how many men did you sleep with? Like, that's not a thing here. But yeah, believe me, we're gonna get into that later on. But anyway, so she was right. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys have been in town for at least a day that I know of. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. That is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for today. Eliza didn't know what to do with the plant when she got it. So she had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not always hot here. Then she had to learn how to make the dye. When she did that, she moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of her dad, and said the rice plantations were going downhill, and they were going to make a killing with the indigo. We now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here in front of me. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to give every communication device a set of questions to focus on. What that means for you guys, on your TV shows, and you guys will pretty much attest to this right away, I normally get a lot of head nods, they ask one question from one device, and they put the camera on that one device for 5 minutes until a commercial break. Don't get discouraged if you're not getting a direct answer. Jennifer might actually ask a question, Carol might get the answer. That's why I like to use so many different types of devices and make sure we have enough communication. Not to mention we're using all 3 of my cameras plus my voice recorder. It can come up as a full-blown disembodied EVP. We never know where the answers are going to go. So that's why you guys are going to be spread out in this location, and I'm going to be bouncing around with you guys to see what's going on. In this location, I'll do 2 full round robins because there are 10 of you, and then I'll bring us all back here and give us all the answers. So, kind of gives you the gist. So with Todd's device, you're specifically going to go after what happened to the mansion. Your device normally only gives us like 1 to 2 syllables at a time, so obviously it's some kind of tragedy. But if you get the what, we will normally get 2 or 3 numbers of the when. That's the date. So again, that's obviously the month, day, and year. So those are going to be your 2 major questions that you're going to focus on, is like what's going on with the mansion. It's not here anymore. With yours, Miss Carol, Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. Kind of a jerk move if you really think about it. So the first wife dies in January of 1744, and 5 months later, he married the one we just talked about. Both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. Figure out which one we're dealing with. The other piece for you would be how old she was when she got married. So that kind of leads me to Brandon as well. We don't expect a whole lot out of this device. Getting her straight initials of ELP in that order is exciting. So that's what you're going to be looking for out of that specifically. The 2 red spirit boxes, so that would basically be Ellie and Jennifer, you're going to have the same set of questions. Eliza's death. You're going can ask her how old she was, what she died from, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. All of these questions you can cherry pick from one another. The one thing I'm going to ask that you don't do is ask about Eliza's children. We are too close to a tragedy date in the family, and that is not a bear we want to poke. So we want to kind of stay away from that. Did you get any other numbers coming out of yours, Chris? Okay. So it's definitely not higher than the 3.6 that you gave me earlier.
Yeah,
3.6. So 3.6 and a 4. So Mary, did you get anything out of yours at all?
What happened?
Okay, very interesting. So we are going to spread out. I'm going to keep Brandon behind so I can show him a little bit more about his little Ouija board device. But just be mindful of the vehicles. Just don't even go on that side of the lot. We got actually very gracious tonight, a lot of room tonight because it's the night before a holiday and nobody's parked in here. So let's spread out. I'm going to meet up with everybody here in just a second. And looks like, Kayla, you got that thing up and running really good. A lot of people have struggled with that button. I don't know why, but you got it. Thank you.
Yep.
I've been filming the thing over there for a couple minutes.
What happened to the mansion that was here?
Yo, something. I wonder if it was just the tree, but something.
There was a mansion here. What happened to it? When did it stop being your house? Was this where your mansion was?
What year did you die?
Did you live here? Was this your house?
Could you say that again? Do you know anything about indigo? I'm not getting words from that.
What happened to the house here? Do you know what happened to the house? Did you know the people that lived here? When did this house get torn down?
Is this you I'm seeing? Is somebody standing in front of us? Yeah, but still. Is your name Elizabeth? Okay. Is your maiden name Lucas?
Is this a nice house?
If you're here, could you stand on the circle there, please, ma'am? Ma'am, if you're here, could you go interact with my friend over there in the hat? Yeah, what was that?
Who else lived with you?
Mine's got something built in and it is going off. A lot more sensitive. Were you married?
Who were you married to? Did you live in this house together?
This is the slave quarters.
What?
This is where the slaves lived. Ma'am, if you're here, could you go back where you were a second ago?
Said this was where the mansion was.
Reason why?
We want to see you. Will you go back to where you were? We have a device that we can see you.
She's got some nice moves.
It's got to be the sign.
It's got to be something.
What do we have coming out of your spirit box?
Tyler says that he thought.
Reason why?
Reason why?
Like
We
a
were
song,
asking questions.
song lyric.
What was the question? Did we have a question, or was it just
Will you
random?
show back? He's seeing something over there,
Yeah,
and he
right on
he
that
asked if
sign.
she could go back.
Right on that sign we saw.
I heard you guys
while we were
chit-chatting
talking,
as we
yeah.
were coming over here, so I kind of assumed he may have had something out of the glimmer of his eye, so I was hoping he was filming, and he probably wasn't. But that would make sense. Just really asking you, why do you want me to leave my home?
Is this? It's not there anymore.
Yeah, it was right on
go
that.
So remember,
So it's kind of like. Can you see that? Did you see that? There.
his hand's in the way. So that's
That's
going to be the sign.
But it
'cause
was
it's in front
right
of the car.
there.
Yeah, it was like right in between the leaves, or the signs right
It
there.
was in between the
Yeah,
signs?
kinda.
As long as it was in between it.
I think.
Literally nothing is going to pick up. That's way too far back for it to pick up something else. So as long as you were recording, you do have a red circle spinning, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So as long as you were recording, I'll definitely make a note to take a look at that in between the signs so I can see like what's going on there, and I'll take a screenshot and bring it up. All right, I'm gonna say let's rein everybody in. I gotta explain a few things that are happening.
Set aside.
Yeah. It looks like they're dancing. All of them. All the time. So either she's really into like 70s.
Yeah.
Unmute it. Or do I just let it go and it starts again? Like what is the mute?
So
I have one button, mute.
yeah,
Right?
and it just turns it on and off.
So then when I'm ready to go, then I have that.
Yeah, so you unmute it, and it will normally take 15-20 seconds to warm up because it works a lot differently. So whenever I'm covering the history, I'll ask you to mute it because you literally have the only one that's allowed to be here. So we have a couple of things going on. I think I need to explain the EMF readings first because we got all the way up to a 160 and then we aired out. So it probably went well over 200, and that's my guesstimate. I can't tell because it aired out on Chris. So what does this device actually do? Let me explain it in terms of your house. For those of you with video cameras, if you want to go ahead and stop them to give your hands a break, by all means.
To do my job. Just heard what?
I heard what?
From What Is Love.
From here, right.
The new one though, not the old one.
Any words showing up on there, Carol?
Here.
Just anything before that?
Drawing.
Drawing again? That's the sixth time drawing showed up. Interesting. Oh, that would actually make sense here. We're in Dueler's Alley. Take 10 paces, turn, shoot. Yeah. You gotta draw your gun. That makes complete sense. Sorry, I had to think about that one for a minute. I'm like, why is it showing up again? Like, that's so weird. So, welcome to Philadelphia Alley. I know it's empty right now, and it just made me look like a big fat liar. This is normally like packed to the gills on the week of 4th of July, so I just kind of have to prepare for that because every ghost tour stops down here. For those of you with video cameras, obviously it looks like Tyler's already up and rolling. But if you have one, go ahead and get that thing started. So failure to fear is king. I definitely want you shooting it down one way or the other. Cameras don't always have to stay on me. You're going to get the audio later. It's all about trying to capture evidence. So in any event that other tourists start to come through here, they're going to come through that wall. Just so you know, there's a little side step right there, or they'll be coming in through this way. And we just split the seats and let them go through. I'll stop talking. Again, every ghost tour tells the same story down here. I just tell it a little bit differently because you're ghost hunting. We're not doing campfire and marshmallows, if you guys get my point. So your camera is upside down right now. So if you were recording, you need to stop it and then hit that record button again.
I just heard you're all liars.
That picture's like, I was like, you haven't heard anything. She's been doing it. So this used to be called Dueler's Alley. It's Philadelphia Alley now because dueling became stupid first off and illegal, so they had to rename it after a city that helped us out of one of our money fires that I already talked to you about. So here's how this story goes. The next word that every ghost story talks about. So it kind of sucks because Brandon left with the one tool that was actually designed for this location, and I
He
told him
should
to
be
go
here
ahead and
soon. I
take it.
shared our location with him.
Oh, 3.2. Oh, it's 3.7.
I'll take the 10. I told you, the 7 and above is what I'm looking for here
Okay.
because of the link first.
Okay.
But she had a 10.7. I'll take it. Chris, did you get anything?
Makes sense. Shot through the heart.
Yeah.
Shot through the heart.
Shot through
You're
the
to
heart.
blame.
And we're about to talk about duels. And we had the word drawing.
love.
Like drawing your guns. Alright, so Brandon's device was actually the reason, this location, the reason why I bought it. But he's not here right now, so then there were 9. He'll be back. He just had to run somewhere real quick. But anyway, here's how the story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. So his name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you listening to Spirit Boxes and not paying attention to me, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. We get it all the time because it's part of the doctor's name, Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her good parents. So she's an attorney, helping her out with all of the cash flow that she just got. The attorney thinks Dr. Ladd is just asking her to buy. He tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. He comes here to Charleston to prove that he's not. After he ran his money, he's going to make his own. He set his medicine practice down here. But on his way into Charleston, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here. But somebody was walking by. His name was Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop there on Ralph because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. We were getting RI all the time on your 2 spirit boxes, so I bought the Ouija board device so I can get the specific letters. I would say in the 6 months that I've had it, when I'm telling this part about Ralph, he had it again 4, 5, 6 times. I lost count, but again, it does come up consecutively. I just need a secondary clue so I know who it belongs to. 2 different characters, right? So, back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, you don't stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try and kill you. He's got a gunman inside. Come with me to 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from these friends of mine, and you'll be safe and good to go. The doctor took him up on the offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. He becomes known as the whistling doctor because Amanda's moving down soon, so that way they can actually get married. Here's what I'm going to tell you about whistling ghosts. Every haunted city has a cliched whistling ghost. It's just something we all do. There is proof of this one. Of course, I'm going to tell you that, but hopefully you're going to capture that tonight as we kind of go through the rest of the piece of the history. So back to Ralph and the doctor. The ghosts play together, but they cannot sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's just the way the hierarchy works. There's a ghost coming by, everybody. He's going to have our devices, and he's going to let us know if he sees an RI. So Jennifer, you can understand when he gets here. But I go see Richard III one night, and they're arguing over the new actress because they're talking about the play on the way home because they couldn't sit next to each other during the play. The doctor gets better seats because he makes more money, in case I missed that part. But anyway, they're arguing over the actress, and the doctor thought she was great, and Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It gets really ugly. They went their separate ways. But you already know that Ralph has friends around town. He goes to the newspaper and places an ad and tells them to place an ad telling the whole city what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of like, you're a disgrace to society. Slap, slap with a glove was normally what I've been doing with that line. So that's where she heard the glove, and I'm like, I like the glove. I'll take that one. My daughter would make fun of me because he sounds like an old man saying slap, slap with a glove. But anyway, she comes on to tours often, just so you guys know. She's 17 and a smart ass, and that's just who she is. But anyway, back to Dr. Ladd. Dr. Ladd saw the ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned. The doctor pointed his gun in the air and shot his one shot from his flintlock. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. He didn't get the word bravery. So, I'm getting all kinds of words straight from the word of the ghost teller, right? Looks like we just have a family coming by, so this doesn't not a tour guide in front. So we'll let that pass and then I'll walk all the way through. But anyway, Dr. Ralph has his one bullet left, right? He hasn't shot it, so he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd doesn't die. He drops to the ground. Ralph. What's that? Oh, look at that. We're getting double whammy here. So let's let everybody pass through. Hello. How are you? Good.
Hello.
Nice and taxed. You're just a weirdo around Charleston. Not a big deal. So anyway, where was I? Dr. Thomas Brown, right?
Yeah.
He's carried home to his home at 59 Church Street by his friends, and he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. First off, you need to remember that he's a doctor. He probably just tried to bleed out the fluid himself because it's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than they are now. Probably just lead poisoning. However, he did die November 2nd of Every ghost story that comes down here will tell their people to listen for the whistles as they're in the alley. First off, besides that air conditioner, it is usually super quiet down here, even on a busy Saturday afternoon. The nice thing for you guys is we have 3 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to get a whistle, it's definitely going to show up on one of those 4 items. You don't have to do it on your own. If you decide, because I can't take you all the way through here, I've actually been kicked out of here. We're going to get to that in a minute because that's the fun part of the story. And you can turn on your voice recorders from your phones and walk all the way through. Just keep in mind, every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street, Queen throws a whistle down the alley. We all do it. I do it too. So, especially since I got moved out of here, I just grew up all day before. So, here's how that part of the story goes. Here's how I got kicked out. Like, there's no laughs. Megan was the only one that laughed at that. Like, I got in trouble. Haley's like, holy shit, who did we sign up with today? But anyway, there the chuckles. Good. So the alley didn't go all the way through this way, the way we came in. There was a wall up there. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley, because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So that means the bricks on the other side are older than the ones we're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave trial down at the end of this alley and some fingerprint swipes from others off to the left. I used to take my groups all the way through here when I first started doing this. However, I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid is not there. I'm not looking to hunt him down and hopefully get activity out of it because that's the last place you're going to find him. However, November 26th of 2020, my entire group is huddled around that one brick waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoot him along because I know nothing's going to happen because he's not there. Secondly, because it's outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was just trying to be respectful. I didn't know I was out of bounds for tours. So, I was new at this, and Chris is like, yeah, now I'm down with this guy. Cool. So, we moved on after the new owner came out screaming, and my daughter thought it was great because her dad was getting yelled at during that time. And the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in retail management, upper management for Walmart for a good part of 20 years. You know now why I will never go back to retail or work on Thanksgiving ever again in my life, because all of you people hang out at Walmart on Thanksgiving, and I will never go back. So, secondly, the next day after that was November 28th. I know it gets warm down here. November 28th, I called my partner that I had at the time that actually was teaching me about tourism. I told him what happened. He's like, you're not allowed to go down that far. We've already gotten the complaint. You got to go down halfway, which is what we're allowed to do because that's the boundaries, because it's residential, anything past that, or reroute the group. I told my group that night because it's Black Friday and I'm sold out again, and I'm going to reroute, but I've never had anything happen at this next location. I don't even believe in the story. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person, which is exactly what I was giving you the gist of at the beginning of our night. So, before we left the space, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. So I got a little bit excited. So we went over there and I told them a little bit I didn't know about piracy. Somebody else, here's the number 300 coming out of your spirit box. Sorry, guys. I don't know what the number 300 means. I write it down just like what I'm doing for you guys tonight. I research it the next day. Turns out the dates that we were there of November 28th of 2020 was the exact 300th anniversary of Anne Bonny's trial for piracy. November 28th of 1720. So some of you are looking at me with like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was pissed off about it. First off, pirate lore to me is a big problem because I have a master's degree in creative writing. I need even facts and data to create fiction stories, and especially when I'm doing a paranormal investigation. Pirate stories are based off of pirate lore. So that's a big issue. That means I have to read more books to be able to debunk more things. So half my library now is nothing but pirate books. And I watch more documentaries, more movies, and even play video games with pirates in them to get a different version of the story because they all tell it differently. So the next location is a hit or miss, but hopefully we're going to get bleed over from Dr. Ladd. And when I say hit or miss, Anne Bonny is actually said to be seen all over town. I'll explain once we get over there. It'll make more sense, but we will have a chance to spread out. It gets super warm down here during the beginning of July, so I'm trying to rush this. If you can't pick up on that, like I can probably feel the sweat dripping off my face at this point. Before we leave the space, the gate, there's a reason why I like to feel this spot. Oh, there's our quiet, peaceful place. But the gate. Remember I told you that the alley didn't go all the way through this way? In the event there was a loser to the duel, this was the shortcut to get to the cemetery on the other side of the wall. Otherwise, they'd have to carry the dead body all the way down to Queen Street, which you can see how long the alley is, and then double back to get over to St. Philip Cemetery, so that way they can go celebrate the winter. The wrought iron gate probably wasn't put here until probably the early 1900s, but you can definitely see that the archway is part of the original wall. So, again, I just like to point it out because not many people know why this gate's actually here. It's just an easement right now for the church, because that's right when you get on that step, you're in church property. So, it's kind of how that works. But you guys ready to go talk about some rated R pirates? Yeah. Everybody got my money? Chris did, maybe. All right, we're going to pass. We're going to go up to the side of these guys. Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, good, good.
Welcome to the Holy City.
Isn't that supposed to be my line? Walking to the Holy City? There you go.
I think I'm good to stop.
I just heard consequence.
So crazy.
Yeah. Like it just said, it was coming out of your mouth.
Right there.
So crazy.
Shoot.
Relax again.
Oh, there was.
Interesting. How are our words coming on your end?
Nothing new.
Nothing new at all from nothing while we were in the alley either?
Just drawing still.
Drawings
Yeah,
still?
that was
Interesting. That they're getting all
Right,
this
as
time
soon
when
as you
you're not.
said it. Right.
And again, it's not your fault, it's the ghost's fault of not using your device to talk back. So EMF detection in this location. By the way, cameras, by all means, go ahead and get them started. Other tours may cut through here. The reason I bring it to the back is just to stay out of their way. They'll be cutting through. They may stop in front of the powder magazine, do a little bitty, and then they're on their way. So when we spread out in this location, you're just going to stay away from them. EMF in this location, I only get excited about it on this back half because the closer you go to the street, you're going to get the parking meters that are on the other side of the bushes and the 2 electrical poles in the corners of the lot. So again, your device has been the only one to detect any EMF in this location as of late. We don't normally expect much out of this location. It's definitely not the Pinky Mansion site of 160. So just don't expect any other place besides our last stop of where we're going. Which, by the way, wait do you guys see what the hell I'm going to do to you in the last stop? This is a little nuts. So, did you guys read the full description of what you guys signed up for?
I'm in. Let's do it.
Wow, I
Let's
love
go
all
now.
the head nods.
What
and
was
stuff.
it?
Ghost equipment. It's like in.
I'm just
Yeah.
here.
So yeah, at the very bottom, there's
I'm
a
here for
little
the ride.
thing you have to sign for a waiver, and Chris is like, oh shit. He's like, what else is in the bag?
We gonna start
So,
like a brawl.
see? We had that here a couple nights ago. Out of a difference in your voice.
Oh,
Says
Yeah.
here and shape.
it was a word, but it was statically.
Story.
Love story?
Love story.
Good, because we're going to talk about 4 of them, all from the same person.
So it was. It
That's
is
what makes the
Taylor
story
Swift.
interesting.
Oh.
All right, Todd, if you don't mind, can we go ahead and put that on mute? All right, so let's talk about why we're here. So first off, that is the Gunpowder magazine, and this is where I get a chance to take off the bag because this gets a little animated. I'm not going to put it on theatrics. I'm just going to move around so I don't stick to my shirt. The Gunpowder magazine, those are not crosses on it, by the way. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not from here and don't know what the hell those are basically turnbuckles. You can tighten them after an earthquake. And it's supposed to tighten up the building so it doesn't incur any further damage from the earthquake. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. Which, by the way, when I told you that we had the numbers 8-6, where did the numbers 8-6 come out of at the Pinky Mansion site? Again, that is relative to the earthquake from Big John's. That's where I was excited about the 8-6 that came out because the earthquake happened in 1886. So I forgot to say that. I remembered that along the way. I was like, ah, shit, I didn't touch that. But anyway, those earthquake bolts, by the way, the reason I bring them up is because it's part of the reason why we're here. Those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. The reason why is because that's the oldest government building we have in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. So we're here because that building is what I call the familiar. Seems like you guys all watch the TV shows, but you've seen the Boo Buddy, right? The little teddy bear that they use to try to attract a child ghost. It's the same principle. This is just something Anne would recognize because there's not many buildings this old in Charleston. The other ones are said to have Anne Bonny ghosts around them as well. We actually capture quite a bit of evidence here. She might be here at the same time we are, she might not be. I never know. But again, it's why I like to do the bleed over from Philly, from over here, so that way we at least have something before we leave the space. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government small building? 10 years? No, not at all. I'll answer for you. But our history actually begins right in the middle of it. So try to follow me. There's a handful of twists. Kaylee's already yawning. So let's kind of get through this. I know. We're getting late here, guys. But anyway, 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormack. She comes here with, who's got that super loud spirit box? Is that you?
Sorry.
Holy cow, are you, I was gonna say, are you deaf? But you might actually have a hearing disability.
It's so interesting. I know. I'm trying to. Like,
I know, it's hard to listen to that Amy at the same time. I'm like, wait a minute, I asked Todd to mute. I'm looking at him. I'm like, he's paying attention. But anyway, she comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you guys with me so far?
Yeah.
All right, the 3 of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How mad was she that she kicked them out of the damn country to leave by boat to land here? So if you came here with a lady friend or your wife, girlfriend, be nice to them. They're going to kick you all the way up to Canada, fellas. So it's kind of, that's normally the joke I'm making. Chris is just does not like my jokes at all. So he's very like, he's got this. So back to Anne. They land in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach, about an hour and a half north. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. That means Dad is sending young Anne down to Charleston to sell anything from the plantation to help keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. Let's go back to Ireland for just a second. Anne was said to be a badass even at the age of 7, 8, 9 years old. Remember, it's pirate lore. Nothing is ever going to be exact. They say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. We have had the terms servant, knife, belly show up on 3 different spirit boxes without the other 2 people knowing what was happening, if you're getting the point. So, fast forward. The building's done in 1715, Charlestown is starting to get pirates. And Anne is stoked because she's going to fall in love so she can earn her freedom just like a man. It was a man's world at this point. So, first guy she falls in love with. I said first because there's a handful and we're going to cover them all because that's what makes the story so damn interesting. First guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going because we've already mentioned her pirate name. They ran away to Jamaica, they got married, and Cormac is now Anne Bonny. However, James, her new husband, is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. A few years go by. So this is guy number 2, John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. Calico Jack is the guy that they based your Johnny Depp character off of, just so everybody knows who the hell this guy actually is. So, Calico Jack has his own ship. He has his own crew, and wants to be part of the crew. You can't put a girl on a pirate ship because it's bad luck. I would normally ask you guys that question. Hey, anybody know why you can't put a girl on a pirate ship? But we have a very mixed group tonight, and kids here, at least teenagers, and I don't need to get any angry parents to get my point because I get really raunchy answers. But anyway, back to Anne. He makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy, you can be part of the crew. You're going to look like them, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this. The reason why is because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. So she gets it. It's a man's world, but she's a pirate. She's getting exactly what she wanted. Let's put 2 and 2 together. We can all do this together, right? So she's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. So Jack drops her off in Cuba. They'll have the baby there, come back later, we'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns without a child. We have no idea what happened to the baby. If you want to ask, by all means do so. It's not going to be a prominent English woman like Eliza Pinckney. We're going to poke the bear when you guys are out asking questions. Anyway, this makes Jack mad that she's dressed like a girl. Everybody's going to know that he let a girl on the ship now. While she was gone giving birth to his baby, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. She's going to go flirting because that's who Anne is, and we're on guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the crew that Calico Jack captured. So now we have 2 females dressed like males on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really ever know for sure, but the British found out where they are. They're going to send a fleet of ships to take down 1 pirate ship. Rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1 bullet flintlocks because they don't know how to use cannons yet. Obviously, 2 ladies with flintlocks are not going to take on a whole fleet of British Navy ships. So they get arrested, and as they're being arrested, she looks over at her captain in bow, Calico Jack. She says, "I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up on your spirit boxes all the time. The judge wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunken pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone 2 days prior. Anne and Mary go in front and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. The judge does not care that they're female. They're pirates. He's still going to hang them. "We plead our bellies," was the last thing they shouted, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad's still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending because we don't know that much about her after her pirate career. Some say she actually went to Virginia, definitely changed her name. We still don't know if the 4 children after she came home is true or not. But here's what happened to Mary Reed. She dies 5 months later in a Jamaican jail from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books will tell you it was something simple like fever. I'm going to say that's BS. Let's call it something romantic like scurvy. Why the hell not? Those are some really bright blue lights that are totally unnecessary. Like, I thought the cops were coming for us. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Ghost lights.
Ghost lights.
Ghost lights.
Well, you can probably see them really good with Kaylee's cam. So that's actually kind of hard to say. Kaylee's cam. Say that 5 times fast. But anyway, I'm not going to assign questions here because you guys all know what you're doing by now. Here's what I left out of the piece of history just so you have something to work with. Everything else is fair game. Again, not a prominent English woman. You don't need to tiptoe. Poke the bear. So I did leave out the name of Anne Bonny's parents on purpose. That's the father and the mistress. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship, the city where Anne grew up in Ireland, and the color of her hair, which is obviously an easy red. And I normally do that with people with spirit boxes that are just struggling. I look for a 1-syllable answer, and we do get the answers for if you ask her how, what color was her hair, kind of thing. But anyway, everything else is fair game, so let's get everything cranked up, stay out of the way of these larger groups walking by, and we will end over there by that wall. Does everybody feel okay at this location, by the way? Yeah. We did get that was it like be aware or something along those lines?
Be careful.
Be careful.
Be careful.
So we've had instances with females like getting a little bit like heart palpitations in this location, and we'll talk more about what actually happened here about a year ago. So we'll do that at the end before anybody freaks out. So Todd's like, oh snap, where we go again.
I'm good.
All right, let's do this. Let's spread out, guys. You guys know what to do. Get to work.
Start asking questions.
And Bonnie, are you here?
Is that a hay? And was that a hay? I thought.
Did you have a baby? Calico Jack said dad.
He had a J on his Ouija board.
Are you trying to answer me? Was Calico Jack your husband?
Man, I heard you're a redhead. Oh my, is that a, did I just, Dad, just saw somebody right there. I thought it was him, but it's not the right depth. Sonia or Tony something? Hey.
What's the name of your ship?
Tyler, just so you know that wall is not your friend, that camera. That thing is a nightmare. It's always going to look like there's a ghost hiding against the wall, and there's not. It's just leaves.
Her baby.
Not surprised. Yours picks up more disembodied voices than anybody else's, so that may have...
It was a lyric.
Oh, okay.
It was singing baby.
Definitely look at it.
And I think I saw somebody, like I saw a shape, like,
By the little hut.
kinda.
Because a lot of, at times we will see something going on, like on the right-hand side of it. Sometimes I can debunk it with the trash cans and the things that are behind it. Other times I can't. So
It was like a full,
yeah,
like I'm seeing you like that.
gotcha. Perfect.
You were a pirate. Anne, are you here? Anne? And I heard you're a ginger. I heard you're a ginger. Yeah. I actually was in a relationship with a ginger. A redhead, you know. And? Is that you? Are you in front of me? If you're in front of me, go talk to one of the people. Go talk to that guy. Yeah. You right there? Anyway, Anne, this girl's name is Kara. Beautiful, beautiful girl. Beautiful, beautiful girl. With all my heart, man. I don't know what I did wrong, you know? Anne? Girl left me. Yeah. But I loved her right back, you know. She was amazing. If you could you go talk to one of the people who have the boxes in their hand? Say, Kara. Go to one of the people who have the boxes in their hand or carrying something. Get in front of them, you know? We'll find you, we'll help you. We'll help you get out. I know what it's like to have unfinished business. Hurts. It's the life you had. With your husband, your lovers.
Why did they hang?
Yeah.
What was your first husband?
And we go tell one of these nice people what happened to your baby. You recognize this building if you're here, don't you? Yeah. And if you could, if you And were you Catholic? And were you Catholic? You're from Ireland. You were Catholic, weren't you? Why'd you come to South Carolina? I've been told that Catholics like to go to Maryland. Is that true? Did you come here running from your father's wife? Are you an illegitimate child? There's no shame in it. Some of history's greatest leaders were illegitimate babies. Alexander Hamilton, you know him. Your first husband, is he a coward? Did you dress like a man?
Do you think you were lucky?
Did your daddy bail you out of jail when you were supposed to be hanged? friend Mary? Do you know a woman by the name of Mary? Do you? Is that a yes? Okay, and I'm gonna sit here. You could show me. Could you show me? Could you go towards the powder magazine? Is that a yes? We're gonna help you. If you just go to the powder magazine, we could help you. What was that?
All night.
You're gonna be here all night?
It was journey. Tell me about being a pirate. You like gold?
Did you have to dress up like a man?
I asked, how are you able to be on board the ship?
Mm-hmm.
And a female disembodied said luck. Does that sound reasonable?
It sounds like her. All right, let's go wrap. You got anything going on with your
No.
cam? All right, let's head over to the wall. I got Miss Carol over here.
I was getting something over there, like that wasn't. It didn't look like the things. Trees. Looked closer. And this is the last chance.
Alright, so first off, I kind of need to explain about like what actually happened here
Okay,
about a year and a half ago.
bye,
So way around. Kick the bucket back there.
That's right. Talking to death.
Kicking the bucket is. When I do a vacation, I just go to the place just like y'all do. I mean, I'm not getting overnight stays until I'm sitting there. I gotta go during the daytime, run over here and walk over there. So my daughter was she didn't know, couldn't understand why we were getting so many tickets, like trains.
chills.
Oh, okay.
I could use some chills right now. Getting feeling a little hot over here. This ain't San Diego.
We got, she was guilty on here.
She is guilty?
She was guilty. What was the last thing you heard? Oh. Give him something.
Somebody guilty?
All right, guys, let's go learn the history of the space. We'll get Miss Carol a seat. And,
I'm about to find out.
That's
Who's guilty?
who?
Who's guilty?
Messing with it.
What did they do?
I like that. Where was that at? Before we left the space? Love it. Nice.
We're getting answers.
Anything else crazy going on, by the way, that I needed to know about?
It was a fever on that.
It was a fever?
Yeah.
So, apparently Mary Reed truly died of a fever, everybody. There's our proof. So, it wasn't scurvy, it's something like I was trying to hope for. So, first time I came here, guys, I had no idea what to expect because every year I change this up, I take out one space and add a new one. This is the new one. This is going to be very brief because I don't know everything about the location. But I only had 2 people, so after Halloween is when I start researching. The young lady using the red spirit box heard the year 1828, the name Henry, and I was using Carol's digital word list, and the name Tim showed up. So this bust right here is Henry Timrod, born in 1828. So I went, well, hot damn, there's my ghost. So things you need to know about him. First off, he was a writer, and he was sick through most of his life. So obviously being born in 1828, he was able to go and fight for the Civil War for the Confederates. So he goes out to the battlefield, and his comrades realize he's too sick to fight. They sent him home and said, go be the voice of the war. They wanted him to write about what was going on in the battlefield. So he becomes known as the laureate of the Confederacy. So it's a pretty prestigious title for us writers, by the way, in case you're unfamiliar with that. 2 years go by, and he has a son. You guys are going to know about the son? They're obviously not. His name was Willie. He was born on Christmas Eve and died 9 months later. Very sad and abrupt. And obviously, him and his wife, Katie, that's why when you guys had the name Caitlin show up, I was kind of like, maybe, him and Katie are mourning. But Henry is not writing as much, and his college friend realizes this. He invites him out to his cottage out in North Columbia to finish the piece he's supposed to be publishing for the paper he works for. And he goes out there and writes his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality, person of short life. And then he coughs, and it lands on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. Now, that blood stain looks like a man writing at his desk. We only show this book one day a year at the Charleston Library Society. You have to be a member of the society to be able to see it, but the internet's beautiful. So I'm going to show everybody what the page looks like, and then we're going to go talk to Miss Mary over there as if she is Henry. And hopefully we're going to get some answers out of her. So you guys will have to pay attention to the instructions that I give them, because some of you are going to have to be involved with tapping them out and so forth and so on, and what to actually expect. So I'm going to rely on you guys to actually help me out. And Brandon's like, why the hell are you putting me over here by my damn self? So let me show you this page, and then we're going to go talk to them and hopefully get some damn answers.
You go from there?
This is the last page that he wrote. You see the blood stain looks like a man writing. Yes. But to me, it tells the whole story. Beholder of brief mortality.
Wow.
So,
Oh, man.
so we call this the blood book, so everybody knows. Can you see that's...
Yeah.
Have you seen that person yourself? Like at the book society? Like on the page?
I have not.
Okay.
I'm not a member.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's pricey to be a member.
That's crazy.
Henry, are you here? Do you have a sign? Oh, it's just
All right, let's go capture a ghost.
Henry?
Let's do this.
you die.
Most people don't figure it out. It's fine. I buy them in bulk from Amazon for a specific purpose, so same thing with the earbuds. Let me help you out.
I'm right behind him.
We need to start recording on this.
You just want me to say what I hear?
Yep. Let me go over the instructions. Perfect. So, and I'll set up my phone as I'm doing it for you, but you're going to be using my cell phone inside the headset. So specifically for you, we're going to stay nice and tight. We're going to get in nice and close because I don't like what the other tours are going to be doing. So we will be filming. So Kaylee's going to be filming the whole thing for us, and you're going to stay focused on them because they're not going to know the history until you guys get the data back from me. You're going to have to rely on your family members on your way back to your rooms to let them know if it was a legitimate case or not. I'm always honest at the end. I'll tell you if it was slightly successful, unsuccessful, or very successful. Those are the three major things. I'm only going to keep you guys under for 10 minutes. I'll be watching both of your breathing, just so you know. I've had to put people out because of hyperventilation. I blame the weather, but we never know. In the event we need to tap you out, your family member will be nearby. So Brandon, you'll have to be on this side. And then they're going to tap you on the leg. That means we're done. You take off your gear. You're obviously going to be able to hear us, but you just don't know the history. In events that, Mary, you're speaking too loud, somebody will tap your shoulder. So I need a volunteer from the fam. So Ellie, go ahead and stand behind Mom. I'm assuming Mom, right? I'm getting that right?
Yeah.
You guys have been like head to head all night, I kind of assume. But if she's talking too loud, I'll have her tap you on the shoulder. Remember, we can hear you. So just kind of, if you're whispering, we may lift up your ear muff and say, go ahead and go a little loud, if that makes sense. So do you have it at a comfortable volume now? Obviously you have both earbuds in, so you probably don't have any volume. Go ahead and set it to a comfortable volume, and then you're going to set that to the side. I don't want you touching it at all. We want to make sure you're not cheating and hearing the questions that I'm asking. It's also okay to answer in yes/no answers. If you hear yes/no, it's okay to say that out loud. You don't know what questions I'm asking. I might ask the ghost if I'm wearing a gray shirt. So I'm going to wait for a yes or no answer to get my point. And also remember to talk. You have to tell us in real time what you're
Everything
hearing.
I'm hearing.
Everything you're hearing.
So you want me up loud enough so I can't hear you?
Right. Yeah, I don't want you hearing me at all. All right. For you, all you're going to do is describe the pictures that you're seeing. You're going to have a background of moving smoke or fog. And you're going to tell us everything else that you see besides that smoke. And very brief descriptions, because remember, she's going to be talking at the same time. So I'll kind of split this set up and then slide it into your... Have you guys ever seen artificial intelligence create an image? It's very interesting, by the way. I use it a lot for social media because now they're all original pictures. I just slap my logo on it and boom, I own it. It's wonderful. I use it all the time. I won't do it for writing because that's just going to put me out of a job.
It's right where he was. It was right where he is. He is now. But he wasn't here. It was before he told him.
Correct. Did you, were you recording?
Yeah, I've been recording.
It's really easy to navigate. So your focus is right here. It'll put the lens this way, and then underneath on the thumb part, like if you're holding it this way, it's going to move it back.
Did you show up behind
wherever
them
you're comfortable
on the
with,
bench?
and that'll have to go over your head.
If you showed up behind the bench, will you go back?
So Mary, can you hear me at all?
I can hear you right now, yeah.
Alright, so go ahead and slide those over her ears, and then I'll ask her again. You can put them in my ears now. By the way, everybody else, we're going to keep you on mute for sure. But yeah, we're going to huddle in nice and tight. Definitely, if you want to get some footage, you can film anywhere. Let me know, Carol, if you see any words pop up. Same thing with the Ouija board device. Brandon, you're kind of on call too. If Mary's not giving me the answer, it may go to another device. So at this point, Mary, can you hear me? Good. It is 11:09, and we're going to get started. So, Mary, you can't hear me, correct? Okay, good. You can't hear me. So, you got everything set focused for you, Jennifer? Yeah. All right, perfect. All right, so we are looking to speak to Henry Timrod. So if we have Henry here with us, we would like for you to either say your name or something specific to you, like your occupation. We're not looking for parlor tricks. We come with respect.
Real grudge.
Okay, I know you don't like me here, but there's nobody else here. So it's just us. I know I have a larger group tonight, but if you can tell us your occupation, that would be fantastic. Occupation, please. You can show us as well by using the green box on Jennifer's face.
But no.
But no. I want you guys also notice I'm not writing anything down. I do that on purpose so I can focus on them to make sure they're okay. I know, I keep looking towards you, I'm sorry. Henry Timrod, can you push through and tell us something specific about you? Give us your first name, your occupation, or if you want to talk about something completely different.
Oh, the chicken song.
We're not discussing chickens. also see images through the other box in Jennifer's face. I know Mary's blindfolded, but she
I got a gun.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay.
This is my first shot.
If there's somebody else here
Sounds like
who
we're
would like to know
getting
your
threatened.
first name, please. I already know who you are. You just need to identify yourself. She's so focused. You guys see this? Who else do we have here?
96.
Nope, wrong number. Try again.
I remember.
You remember what? Can you tell us what happened to you? Dr. Ladd's house that we talked about earlier is 0.3 miles this way. He's been slipping through more and more. So when she said I have a gun and it's my first shot, that was kind of my clue that we might actually...
Visualize.
I missed that. What was that?
Visualize?
Something dies.
Dr. Ladd, are you here with us? That's a yes/no answer. I'm okay if you are. Henry wasn't coming through anyway.
We stood together.
Then what? Back to back. We stood together. Then what happened? Dr. Ladd, back, we stood together. Then what? It's 10
It's a miracle.
It's 10 paces in opposite directions are the rules. So if she gives us the number 10 or the word steps, like, I'm good with that.
Miracle.
Not a miracle. You didn't make it,
Shot.
Dr. Wag. Newsflash. Dr. Ladd, are you here with us? Yes or no?
She gave a cent.
Did she?
So like the first thing she said.
Yeah, she said.
Seems like a preamble to what was to come, eh? Dr. Ladd, can you give us some words so we can identify you, please? Medicinal terms will work. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with respecting your occupation. Jennifer, you got nothing going on? Nothing but smoke. Like you're vaping in there, huh?
Oh dear God.
Oh.
Sorry, Dr. Ladd, we didn't mean to talk about smoking. We know that.
Add to the story.
Okay, let's go for it.
Ooh.
What do you want to tell us? Tell your story every night, Doc. What do you want to tell us? I don't think I've ever had a conversation with you like this before.
It was outside.
You're normally hiding off somewhere, just slipping through. You want to tell us where you lived?
I want to do it.
Well, tell us then. Where did you live? What was the address? What do we call it now?
Tuesday.
It's not called Tuesday. Jennifer, I'm really disappointed here. You need to create some images. Focus.
3230.
Dr. Ladd was 22 when he died from that gunshot. Whoever's here, can you tell me what we're hearing from the church right now? Carol, we've gotten that answer on your device in the past, and it's also been spelled out. So, bells. Whoever's here, tell us what we just heard from St. Michael's Church. You can use any of the boxes that we have. Jennifer would love to see us. Yeah, I wish. I know. I want you to show me something. Jennifer wishes you would show her a picture. She's looking to smoke.
Holler.
Dr. Ladd,
Time.
let's try to get back to Henry. Henry, can you push through?
I love.
Who did you love? What was her name? What was your wife's name? last thing.
faith of God.
We had 7 images come through there tonight. I was stoked. Like, that's a lot for 10 minutes. Speaking of, we're at 6 minutes right now. Ooh, this is something. Ellie, was she sweating that much when you guys were working together
I was
earlier?
just thinking that.
Henry or Dr. Ladd?
Nashville.
Hi.
Who is from Nashville?
Traitor.
That was intense.
That was really intense.
They usually say things how they hear them. Like if they get excited, that's how they hear it. Got this. It's so weird. We normally at least get 3. Like that's been the minimum. Henry, Timrod, push through. Let's talk about your wife. You said that you were in love. Can you tell me what her name was?
Joshua.
Her name was not Joshua. Henry, you're not really giving us much.
40.
It's all insured. You're fine.
I'm 50 years old.
You are not 50 years old. Neither one of you are 50
Bet
years
you
old.
dad tonight.
Are you really? Did you bring somebody with you? Somebody that would identify you that way?
Yeah.
Do you know a Joshua? That's not with us anymore?
August 26th.
Holy cow. Specific date. Who does that belong to? And we're not even in August. Henry or Dr. Ladd, we're going to be wrapping this up in just a minute. You've got 1 minute to show us some images to Miss Jennifer because she's got nothing but smoke in there. Or to tell us something specific about you. You've given us a lot of numbers, like the numbers.
Built this city.
Timrod is a native Charlestonian. I'm just going to put that out there.
Think on that.
You dummy! Henry, we're going to wrap it up. One last phrase. What do you want us to know?
I got this.
No, I got this. You need to give us something specific. Send imagery. I was kind of stalling, hoping she was going to get anything to come through there. I thought I saw something at the very beginning starting to come through. That's why I hurried up and slid it into the headset. Nothing? Henry, Dr. Ladd, can you say goodnight?
Where's that child?
Which child?
Nashville. Trader.
This got real serious all of a sudden.
If it's
Which child are we referring to?
You may prosper whatever you do.
oh, that's nice.
Are we talking about your son Willie? That's a yes/no question. Are we talking about your son Willie? It's okay to answer, Mr. Timrod. We're listening.
She heard the bill.
Heard the bell. Mr. Timrod, we're going to say goodnight. Can you say it back to us?
Lonely.
that note, Mr. Timrod, what time is it? We started at 11:07. Oh yeah, we got her under for like 13 minutes. Go ahead and tap her out.
Who?
On the leg.
Oh.
Alright, Jennifer, let me see that, because I'm almost positive something's starting to come through at the beginning.
Yes.
Yep, we definitely got smoke. Nothing but. So, let's take a look and see if we can do anything else. Right? I know. Don't get up just yet. I want to make sure you guys are going to be okay getting disoriented. Yeah, we have somebody in there. I don't know who the hell this guy is. But he's wearing a hoodie and has glasses on. I started to see like the top of the hoodie and I hurried up and slid it into.
Where was that?
This is what showed up on her headset. I don't know who this guy is. I will tell you that
Looks like Andy Reid.
Maybe it's
It does look
Joshua.
like it. It
It
does
is
look like
Joshua.
Andy Reid.
Who's Andy Reid?
Football coach.
Okay, that would be why I don't know. I will tell you that Mr. Timrod that we were trying to get in touch with through Miss Mary over here actually has a very distinctive, thick mustache. Almost like a caterpillar mustache, if you guys get my point. Like it's very thick, very bushy. This guy also has a bushy mustache, but again, he doesn't look like the guy at all. And definitely, Henry Timrod from the 1800s is not going to be wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
So that's not a thing. What's weird is there's a leaf on his head, and you had a leaf fall on your shoulder. Did anybody else capture that?
Oh, yeah.
That's solid on the shoulder.
That's crazy.
And it's a little weird. So again, you guys will at least get this one photo back that you didn't see because it probably dissipated it as I was putting it into the device.
No.
That we know of. Check the news, Todd.
Should be 65.
Very interesting. So almost more conversational on your end than it was anything more specific. You gave us August 26th. I am 50. Nashville. Weird thing is, and the word trader. So Todd, they are from Tennessee.
Okay.
He's 50 years old, and he's a trader. No, I'm
trader.
kidding.
Oh,
So
that's so weird.
it is, but again, I don't know what other details are going to come up, so I am
Yeah.
going to stop your
Okay.
recording so that way I know exactly how long to listen for it to.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this was a dud on both of your ends with the spirit box earlier tonight and then the imagery. So I would call this just slightly successful. Like I'll probably throw in just a few bonus points because we did almost have a conversation and feel like Dr. Ladd from the dueling story was here too. So you gave us like, it was my first shot and I have a gun. Like we talked about the duel, his house is literally 1 block away. So we
Yeah.
do see him slip through from time to
Okay.
time. And then you think, me and Brandon thought, you said, I just heard the bill, but we were asking about the church bells from St. Michael's.
Yeah, I couldn't quite understand the last word, if it was
So,
Bill or
again,
Bell or.
And we kind of
Yeah.
caught on it, like you stumbled over that
Yeah.
word, and we looked at each other, and I was like, I
Yeah.
think she meant to say bell.
Yeah.
So, slightly successful. Cameras, definitely go ahead and shut them down. I think